Lohan Lucas is another Brazilian talent on the way up. In this video, we're going to take a look at his abilities, his talents, his main strengths, and some areas of improvement. Can this be the next big thing from Brazil? Welcome to the channel. My name is Ross, and this is the channel we focus on up-and-coming Brazilian talents, scouting them and analysing them. And today's focus is on Flamengo's 17-year-old sensation, Lohan Lucas. He made an impact for Brazil in the Under-17s World Cup, and then from there he's gone from strength to strength, and this season has featured more regularly for Flamengo. He is typically an inverted winger, playing from the right and dropping centrally. However, he could end up playing a more central role as he doesn't really have the characteristics to stay wide. So let's go into a deeper look on Lohan's abilities, his qualities, and the areas he needs to improve. An athletic and lean inverted winger, he tends to drift centrally. He is relatively rapid, but he's not lightning quick. So let's look at some of his physical qualities now. So Lohan is a lean, fleet-footed winger who's able to shift his body relatively quickly. However, he doesn't really have that explosion and explosive pace from standing positions to get past players. He can evade tackles with his quick feet, and he is able to carry the ball forward in a lot of instances too. As you can see, when there's open space, he's able to play with a lot more directness and positivity, which helps his team in transition. However, he can actually be quite lax on the ball at times and then just tend to explode into action, which sometimes means the ball is taken off him a bit too easily. He also doesn't really get involved in the physical confrontations. Instead, he prefers to wait for the ball to drop before he can manage it. Aerially, he lacks a bit of strength here too, which may be an area he needs to work on. Now, this is a player who's quite technically accomplished, especially when he's moving towards central areas. Here you can see he's able to quickly dash between two players and open up the pitch. He doesn't have that explosive pace and power to really burst and help his team move the ball up the field quickly. However, he does have that technical ability that allows him to squeeze between players, change direction quickly, and find his teammates. Because of his close control and his ability to play incisive passes between defenders into teammates and the lack of explosivity, he may end up becoming a creative midfielder in future. He does face defenders up, but that's so that he can line up a pass in between the spaces rather than beat them 1v1. And that's why he may be suited to an attacking midfielder position. Here he's got space to move into, so he picks the pass out easier. But when there's cases where he needs explosive pace, he just seems to struggle sometimes to sort his feet out and make the right pass. So technique is definitely something he needs to refine. Another example where he just doesn't get the ball out of his feet well enough. In terms of a goal threat and in the final third, Lohan does offer some threat. However, it does need refining. He has the ability to take stinging shots from long distance. However, he's not doing it as often. In this occasion, his technique is not particularly great and he overhits it. However, it's probably his movement off the ball that is going to really serve his ability. You can see here he's making a lot of off the ball runs in behind and getting shots away with both of his feet. However, in some instances, he's just lacking a bit of power and precision. So he is lacking a little bit of this. However, he is making the right movement off the ball, and certainly once he improves it, he'll be more of a threat. Most of Lohan's goals tend to come from central areas where he's made a nice run in between the defenders and just peels away off the back of them. Most of his goals have been scored at under 17 and under 20 level, but he does show a good sense and a good sniff for goal. His long range strikes tend to be around the penalty area and central areas as well. But this is a player who definitely has good movement, finds that separation from the defender to find the chance to score. And this example here, where he's able to outpace and outsmart the defender to score. Lohan possesses a good level of football IQ. He tends to pick out the right pass. He tries to play teammates into space. If it doesn't come off, it's not too much of a problem, as he's able to switch play well. He plays a lot of considerate passes in terms of the construction and moves off the ball well as well. Here, he drops deep, spins, turns and immediately tries to play a teammate in behind, although the execution isn't quite on. When Lohan drops deep, that's when he shows his real intelligence, as he's able to make considerate passes that help his team in attack. Again, he just finds a pocket of space, stretches the pitch, but then finds an incisive pass, spots his teammates run. One of Lohan's main strengths is his off-the-ball movement and positioning. He times his movement inside to pick up the ball and have an impact from here quite well. He finds pocket space as well there. Again, predicted the moment the ball would drop inside the middle and links up with his teammate. He can also move to the left and impact play from here. So picks up the ball and then immediately makes a run into the area where he's anticipating the cross. When he's out on the right, he'll shuffle inside, and then this is when he'll try to find a pocket space in the central areas to dictate play. One of his main areas for improvement is his ability to play with his back to goal. For example, here he's under pressure, but he's unable to really get hold of the ball, protect it, and keep it away. Again, here in construction, he's forced back quite easily. He has some loose touches and he has to go back. You could also say that he maybe lacks the explosiveness and strength to hold onto the ball when other times he just passes it. In this case, he probably could have held onto the ball a little bit longer. And as he's only 17 years old, he's still a little bit rough around the edges. You can see here his pass is not particularly powerful or firm in the way it should be. And then he's operating in similar places to his teammates, which needs a little bit of refinement, and that will come with time. He must also work on his intensity. There's times where the ball's moving around him and he's too slow to react or too timid when trying to keep hold of possession. So Lohan has some qualities that are going to really help him going forward. He's able to drop into the pockets effectively and find space. He can break the lines with swift dribbles and passes. His incisive passes are much more accomplished than most 17-year-olds. He evades challenges in counter-attacks as well quite well. However, his explosive or lack of explosiveness is probably going to hinder him a bit. His movement into the penalty area is good as well and effective. And once he picks up more goals and is able to become more ruthless, he will certainly be a very effective player in this final third. And to make sure he reaches his maximum potential, Lohan is going to need to improve some areas. For example, he doesn't tend to go on the outside when he's dribbling. That can be something he can work on to make himself more unpredictable for the defenders. And his wide play is a little bit lacking, so he doesn't tend to put too many crosses in. Even when he cuts in, he tries to make an incisive pass or a long distance shot. He needs to vary up and add crosses to his game. His ball retention also needs a bit of work. When he's under a bit more pressure, when he's back to goal, he has some loose touches. He doesn't really protect the ball with strength, so that needs some work. And of course, once he increases his intensity in terms of on the ball and off the ball, he'll become a much more complete player. And finally, once he refines his technique, requires less touches in certain situations, he'll be a much more promising and dangerous player for the opposition. So at the ripe age of 17, Lohan has a lot of raw qualities that are really going to help him springboard his career into becoming an elite player. However, there are some things there that need developing, and it will be interesting to see how he goes about that and his coaches help him. Will he become an inverted right winger, or will he become an attacking midfielder, or even play close to the centre forward? Where do you see his future being? What does he need to do to take the next steps in his career to improve? I personally believe he needs to stay at Flamengo for another year or two to really iron out some of those aspects of his game before he can think about moves to Europe. So please tell me what you think to his qualities. Is Lohan the next big potential from Brazil? Thank you and see you next time.